Hello and good day, Algebra. Going over CO4 today, which is a review of objective we had last year. Camille, Will, quiet please, Sophie. Where we essentially talked about how to go from the numbers to the words and the words to the numbers. Word problems are habitually difficult because it doesn't always give you what you're actually solving, right? You have to set it up yourself. Either set up the equation yourself or translate what it's asking you to do. And so CO4 is in here just to kind of get some, what different words or phrases can mean the main four operations when you see them in a word problem. So first of all, a couple definitions. An expression, a mathematical expression. Anybody? Kate? A mathematical statement. Perfect. I would not have said it any better myself. A mathematical statement. Okay? A mathematical statement. And variable you should be more familiar with. You've used them. We love them. But do we really know them? Variable. What's a variable? Okay. It's an unknown value. An unknown value. Okay. So whenever you got a number in a statement and you don't know what it is, you can replace it with a letter. X and Y are the most common ones, but also N is used a lot too. But really any letter in there is going to work. So give me some words or phrases that mean some of these main operations. You can start with any operation you want. Just what do you know? Colin. Plus refers to addition. Good. Cade. Minus for subtraction. Correct. Times for multiplication. And Colin? Difference. Which one does that go under? Subtraction. Good. I want to save the other two for subtraction, just because there's a key difference that I want to talk about coming up here. But yeah, those work. Will. Sum for which one? Actually, multiplication would be product. That's okay. That's all right. But the answer to an addition statement is a sum. The answer to a multiplication statement is a product. Division's feeling kind of left out over there. Anyone got one for division, Haley? Quotients. Jeffrey, what are you going to say? The word is actually refers to the equal sign. If you're like, 5 plus 2 is 7. But there is a word that means that you're multiplying that is short. Carter? Go ahead. That's exactly what I was asking for. Yes. Good. Yeah, the word of. Okay. And I'm going to actually put the word groups before it because sometimes you'll see the word groups before the word of. But if you think back, Quentin, if you think back to last year when we talked about percentages, and it's 40% of 20, that means you're multiplying 40% or 0.4 by 20 and get the answer that way. But if you're dividing, if you have 8 groups of 4, how many do you have total? Well, 32. Okay, 8 times 4. So groups of. There's one for division also using the word groups. Anyone remember what that is? Okay, into groups. Okay, if you're putting something into groups, that would be division. You are putting 32 objects into groups of 4. 32 divided by 4, that'd be 8 groups total. So the word groups apply for multiplication and division. I got to look at what else is around there. Good list so far. Good, Jack.
The dividend.
Dividend. For which one? Division. And the other word that kind of goes along with that is divisor. Dividend and divisor. You don't really see those words used much anymore. Those are kind of elementary words, but they do mean division. So I'll put them up there. Cade? Add for addition. Good. I won't put it up there, but yes, you are correct. Blake?
So, is it divisor the same thing as divisor? Does that have the same meaning?
Divisor and divisor?
No, visor.
Visor?
Yeah.
Like the thing you put on your car that blocks the sun?
No, like the helmet.
Like the thing on your... No, those aren't the same things.
It doesn't have the same meaning?
No. But divisor is a good thing to have on your helmet to block you from the sun. That was a joke. Haley! Less than. So we're going to talk about subtraction here for a little bit, and that phrase "less than" is an important one. But I'm going to highlight the two phrases "subtracted by" versus "subtracted from." Okay, that can end now. Thank you. Subtracted by versus subtracted from. They're very similar, but it's a question of order. Okay. If I have, where I got room, I'll put up the top of the name thing here, but if I write 18 subtracted by 12 versus 18 subtracted from 12, what's the difference in the wording and how our expression is going to look? Abby?
First one's 18 minus 12, the second one's 12 minus 18.
Yeah, with subtraction, you have to be very careful of order. 18 subtracted by 12 means we're starting with 18 and we're subtracting 12. Okay? 18 subtracted from 12 means you're starting with 12 and subtracting 18 from that. Right? So when you see that word subtracted, with subtraction, remember, order makes a difference. You can add things in any order, multiply things in any order. It's not going to change. But with subtraction, the order matters. And here's an example where the words can be a little bit tricky. Okay. Haley brought up less than. I'm going to add that one down here. Okay. And that's another one. 18 less than 12 versus 12 less than 18. Which one up here, if we were to do 18 less than 12, which expression would 18 less than 12 be? Would it be 12 minus 18 or 18 minus 12? 18 less than 12. Does that say 12 minus 18 or 18 minus 12? Right? 12 minus 18, right? 18 less than 12. You're starting with 12. You're subtracting 18 from that. So these two, I'm going to put a little star next to, or something that looks kind of like a star, because with those two, the order is different. Quentin, do you agree to the terms and conditions for being in the room? Okay, thank you. Show me that. Right? Another one for addition. Total oftentimes refers to addition. When you go out to Target and you buy a whole bunch of stuff, your receipt total. More than, which is kind of the partner with less than. Okay. And then for multiplication and division, we've got some words that specifically mean we're multiplying by 2 or dividing by 2. What would those mean? Or those words be? What's a word that specifically means you're multiplying by 2 and conversely dividing by 2? Haley? Twice. Twice something or double something. And then what word would explicitly mean we are dividing by 2? Yeah, half. Okay, so watch out for those things too. Right? So many different ways to describe these 4 operations that you really got to pay attention to the order sometimes with subtraction, but just how it all fits. Okay? All right, let's practice a little bit. It says, write the rule of phrase as an expression, evaluate when n is 2. So if you have a variable, which most of them do, you can just use n for it, but then you're evaluating the expression when you plug 2 in for the variable. So the quotient of 16 and a number, first of all, what operation is this? Quotient of 16 and a number operation. Sophie, division. And what are we dividing? What comes first? 16 divided by the number or the number divided by 16? Because with division, order matters here also. 16 divided by n. Okay, you can write it horizontally, or going vertically, you can write it as a fraction, because recall that fraction bar just means division, right? 16 divided by n. Okay, either one's fine. And now when n is 2, we're going to plug 2 in there. 16 divided by 2, we get a value of 8. Okay. The product of a number and -7. The product of a number and -7. Yeah.
N times -7.
Okay. You could write it as n times -7. Can you put the -7 first? In this case, yes, because we're multiplying. You're going to multiply things in any order. So you could also write it as this -7n. If you are of the lazy type, you'd put the -7 first, because look, it saves you from writing a dot, right? We can't put just n -7 because that looks too much like n minus 7, okay? So -7n, it's okay for that number to be first with no operation. Kylie? Because I tell you to evaluate when n equals 2. Okay? So in this case, -7 times 2 or 2 times -7, either way, you get a value of -14. Okay? -14. Now we introduce commas a little bit. 12 times a number minus 3. What do commas do? Think back to last year. What do commas do? Or when would you use one? Johnny? Yeah, they tell you what's done first. You know, something like 12 times a number minus 3, is that saying 12 times a number and then we subtract 3 from that? Or is it saying you want 12 times whatever a number minus 3 is? Because, of course, those two things would be different. If you multiply 12 times 2 first and then subtract 3, that's going to be different than taking 2 minus 3 and then multiplying that by 12. Which one is this one saying? Will?
12n minus 3.
12n minus 3, the first one, right? 12 times a number, comma, do that first, and then subtract 3, okay? So commas, their role is, kind of like parentheses. It's going to tell you, do this part first, break this up in this way. When you read that, you'd oftentimes have a pause, take a breath. 12 times a number, minus 3. Inflection would mean, that's kind of the order in which you need to do it. So 12 times 2 minus 3, 24 minus 3 equals 21. That's like a 5. Fix that. Okay. The next one, twice the sum of a number and 6. There are multiple operations here also. We see the word twice, we see the word sum, but there aren't any commas. So how do we know what we need to do first? Twice the sum of a number and 6. What's this going to look like? Did you say PEMDAS? PEMDAS?
That's what your
Okay.
associate told us.
I'll remember that. Dayton, are you agreeing to the terms and conditions for being in the room? I'm asking you a question. Basically, don't distract others. Then you'll be out in the hallway. You don't get to hear the lesson. That's a problem because come the test, you might not know how to do this. So you're going to say? I'm glad to hear that. Twice the sum of a number and 6. What does that mean we're doing? Yeah. 2 times 2 plus 6. Where does that come from?
Twice the sum of a number and then 6.
Okay, so twice the sum of a number, Shay's interpreting that to be 2 times 2, and then you're adding 6 to it. Okay, but remember what the word sum means. What does the word sum mean?
Addition.
Not just addition, it's more than that. Yes, that's the operation, but more specifically, It does. That's the operation, but more specifically, no. It's the answer to an addition operation, okay? The word sum is more than just like plus, just like product is more than times. Twice the sum means that you need the answer to that addition first. So in this case, we're taking twice the sum of a number and 6. No commas to signify parentheses. So again, why word problems are so difficult? Going back to that word sum means you need the answer to the addition first. We want twice the answer to n plus 6, right? So plugging this in, it's going to be 2 times 2 plus 6, or 2 times 8, which is 16 as an answer, right? That word sum, answer to an addition question. Jack, do you agree to the terms and conditions?
He said no. Not a fluff ball out of the air.
Yes, we've had this conversation before. You seem to catch a lot of fluff balls, and that's your reason for not paying attention. So do you agree to the terms and conditions?
Yes.
Good. Glad to hear it. Okay. Another one on this page that they do get a little more involved going forward here, but others on this page that you want to go over. I mean, like I said, they do get a little bit like, yeah, go ahead. 17 less than the product of a number and 9. Okay, so here we got two things going on here. Whoever's squeaky McSqueakerton, that's enough of that. So we have the word product, which means more than just multiplication, right? Just more than just times. What does the word product explicitly mean? Will?
That means multiplication.
It does, but it's more than that.
It's multiplication in parentheses. So you have to do that first.
Okay, but and the reason why we're thinking parentheses are involved here is because just like sum is the answer to an addition expression, the word product means more than just multiplication. It's the answer to the multiplication. Okay, so it means that we do need to get that answer first. 17 less than the product means we have to know what that product is. Okay, we also have this less than phrase, which if you look back at the top was starred, because this is the one that is a little bit tricky. Are we taking 17 minus the product of a number and a 9, which would be 9n? Or are we taking the product of a number and 9 minus 17? Which one of those says 17 less than the product of a number and 9?
First one. Yeah. The first one. The second one.
Yeah, wouldn't it be -1 then?
So 17 less than the product of a number and 9 means you're starting with the product of a number and 9 and taking 17 less than that. Okay, so it is the second one. With this phrase, the order that they're written is backwards from what you're going to do in the expression. That's why it's tricky. That's why I'm going over it so much. Right? When you see the phrase less than or subtracted from, those are the ones that the order actually switches when you write it as an expression. Okay? Because you're starting with the 9n, you're subtracting 17, you're taking 17 less than that. You're starting with 18, 9 times 2, 17 less than 18 equals positive 1. Okay? I guarantee you that phrase or the phrase subtracted from will show up on your test for one of these. So you have to know, why they are starred. They're starred because the order switches. Kylie. So, word quotient, what does that mean? Division, but more specifically, the answer to a division operation. So if we want 10 times the quotient, we have to do that part first. Okay? So we're going to start with the quotient in a number, 12 divided by n. That's going to give us the quotient. That's going to give us the answer. And then we're multiplying that by 10. Okay? You can also write this as 10 times 12 divided by n with multiplication. Order doesn't make a difference. You get the same answer either way. But the important thing is you are dividing 12 and n first. Okay? You are dividing 12 and n first. All right? Yes, Jeffrey. Good day to you. Hello. All right. Try the next two on your own. I'm going to cut the audio here for just a second. Try the next two on your own or with the person you're sitting next to. Try and decipher those. There's a couple layers to them there. We're going to pause. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, you are quiet. Let's look at the total of 22 and a number divided by 6. That comma, remember what the comma does is it breaks up the expression for you. It says the total of 22 and a number. All right, I got to do something first here. Okay, what does the word total mean? For some reason, it's not writing on the board right now. Hold on. There you go. What does the word total mean? What operation? Addition. Good. Okay, so we're taking the total of 22 and a number. We're adding 22 and 2 because n equals 2. And then dividing all of that by 6. Okay? The total of 22 and a number, comma, do that first, divided by 6. When you write a fraction vertically like this, it's understood you would do the entire numerator first before divided by 6. If you wrote it horizontally, your 22 plus 2 would need to be in parentheses, right? Following the order of operations. Without parentheses, Quentin, out in the hallway, please. Without parentheses, 22 plus 2 divided by 6. Actually, Quentin, no. I would like you to sit next to Kylie, please. You can move your stuff over there for today, and I'll find out another solution. So written like this, 22 plus 2 divided by 6, order of operations would say that we're doing the 2 divided by 6 first, which is not what we want, right? That comma is telling us add first. So horizontally, we need those parentheses there, okay? Or vertically, which is also acceptable, you've got the 22 plus 2 alone in the numerator, okay? Half the difference of 32 and a number. Again, layered here. The word half means what? Divides by what specifically?
2.
Divide by 2. So we're dividing something by 2. And what we're dividing by 2 is the difference of 32 and a number. The word difference means more than subtraction. What does it mean specifically? The answer to a subtraction operation, right? So we have to know what the answer is so before we divide it by 2. So 32 and a number, we're subtracting that, the difference of 32 and a number, and taking half of it, dividing it by 2, right? So 32 minus 2 divided by 2, or 30 divided by 2, 15 would be the answer. Okay? All right, the back side, the second side of this page, we get to go the other way now. I give you the expression, and you're writing the verbal statement. See what you can do for this. Your homework will be this back side here. Use those words from the chart, and including this table down at the bottom. That's part of your work as well. Kate, what's that? Very good. It won't be on you if we don't play the number game tomorrow.
Congratulations!
Yes. We're not quite there yet. Let's not jump too far ahead. Cade, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, compliments, congratulations, criticisms?
Congratulations!
Thank you, Johnny.
Yes, sir, Johnny.
Okay. He was not following the terms and conditions. Not follow the terms and conditions. All right, folks, that's our math.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.